What's up, you guys? It is Levi here. Alright, so recently I had a coworker of mine have his Facebook account get hacked. And the sad thing is, the hack was completely preventable had he taken the right steps to secure his account before he got hacked. So in this video, I want to share his story with you all. And from his story, I want you to learn the actions that he should have been taking to secure his account so that he didn't get hacked, so that you all can go and take those actions with each and every one of your accounts so that you all reduce your risk of getting hacked. Finally, I want to point out something during this story that was absolutely mind-blowing to me. From this hack that I'd never heard of before, and something that you all should be aware of. Because if I haven't heard of this, in my 13 years of IT experience, you all probably haven't either. And it definitely made me realize how bad hacks can be that may not seem like such a big deal. Alright, but before I get started, I just want to say that nothing is unhackable. Anything can be hacked with enough effort. If somebody really wants to hack you, they're probably going to hack you with enough time. But the thing about cybersecurity is it's not to make it so that you're completely unhackable. It's to make it so difficult to hack you that the hacker, or what we like to call the pirate on this channel, gives up on you and moves on to the next target because you're way too much work. That is the ultimate goal in cybersecurity. Alright, so the story starts out last Sunday. I'm just sitting there watching my terrible Detroit Lions team and saying, "Go Lions." Yeah, it's not even really that exciting because they've just been absolutely terrible this year. I mean, they're the only defeated team in the NFL. And I got this text from my coworker. "Well, I should have changed my social media passwords more frequently." And so I'm sitting there seeing this text, already like completely mad because of how terrible my team is. And I'm just like, what the heck? What does he mean? So of course I asked him, why? Just got hacked, and they grabbed stuff from my super old conversations before I met my wife when I was dating and was attempting to extort me. So my first reaction was like, absolutely mind blown. A pirate hacking somebody and using their social media private messages to try to extort them from old conversations. I had never heard of this in my 13 years of IT experience. It just absolutely mind-blown me. I couldn't believe it. You know, basically these pirates were holding my coworker for a ransom, and if he didn't pay that ransom, they were going to release that information publicly, which is absolutely a nightmare for anyone that said anything on their private social media that they wouldn't want out there in the public, or any pictures or videos that they've taken that they wouldn't want out there in the public. Which is probably the majority of us, right? There are some things that you just don't want out there for everybody to see. And because this was so mind-blowing to me, I want you guys to take this point in. I personally know some people out there that I've talked to in the past that I talk about their phone getting hacked or an account getting hacked, and they don't really seem to care. They're like, I have nothing of value to the pirates out there. They can hack me all they want. I don't need to secure the devices or the applications that I have. I've got nothing for them to take. And there's a lot of people that think that if you don't have social security numbers or any type of data that a pirate can use to financially steal from you, break into your financial accounts or commit fraud against you, there's nothing there for the pirates. And this case absolutely proves those type of people wrong, Basically anything that you have information on that you don't want released to the public is something that you don't want a hacker to have access to. And I meant pirate. They're pirates. So the key takeaway from this is don't assume that your cell phone or any of your applications don't matter. Because they probably do, especially your private messaging applications, because you don't want that stuff out in the public, right? And there's the potential that somebody could hack you and try to extort you. So that's why it's so important to secure that stuff. All right, so I'm done with my first rant. Let's keep moving on with the story. All right, so my coworker texts me again. So I changed all my credit card account passwords to a 16-character minimum passphrase. There are probably like 20 or so characters now. Alright, so my coworker realized his first mistake, and you should fix this now. You need to set a different, strong password for each and every single website and application that you use. Stop using the same password for each and every single website and application. I know there's several of you out there that are still doing that, and change that practice now. Alright, so then I tell him, yeah, I would use a password manager if you aren't now. So the best way to set a different, strong password for each and every website and application you use is to use a password manager. Basically, a password manager is a vault that you can think of where you set a master password, a strong master password, and then you put all of your other passwords for every website and application that you use inside of that vault. And you just have to enter that master password to access all those other passwords. And with a password manager, it makes it easy to pull those passwords out because you can just copy and paste them in there. So you can make them 100 characters long, and it doesn't matter because you can just copy those out and they're very secure. But with that, you want to make sure that master password is very secure, or else someone could break into the password vault and get everything. But it's still way more secure than having the same password on every single website. Alright, so I have tons of videos out there about this subject. One about setting strong passwords, that's very useful for setting that master password on that vault. I have videos that talk about what a password manager is and why you need one. And I have videos out there with tutorials on how to use the password manager LastPass on every single device that you can think of. And I'll post all those down in the description. I highly advise checking those out if you haven't set up a password manager already and have changed all of your passwords so that you can do that. The only thing that I request is if you follow those instructions and set up a password manager and you happen to decide you want to use LastPass and pay for LastPass, check out my link down below in the description. It's an affiliate link. If you use that link to sign up for LastPass, I will get a commission back, and I will take that commission and put it back into this channel to make the content better on this channel for all of y'all. So make sure you do that if you decide to sign up for LastPass. Alright, so moving on with the story, my coworker then says, don't even know how they could have got login stuff. So then I told him if he hasn't changed his password for a while and he's using the same password for each and every single website, the password was likely involved in a data breach, and the pirate took that password from the data breach and used it on his Facebook account. And this is another key learning point for you all. Data breaches happen all the time. You see them in the news all the time. And more than likely, at this point, you have been involved in a data breach. So if you're using the same password for each and every single website and application, and that password is in a data breach, guess what? The pirate can take that password and log into any of your accounts and hack all of your accounts with that one password. So this is just one of the reasons why it is so important to use a password manager to set a different password, strong password I mean, for each and every website and applications that you use. So that way, If a password of yours gets involved in a data breach, the hacker can only get into one of your accounts and not all of your accounts. Alright, continuing on with the story. None of my new stuff matches my work stuff, so that's good. Alright, so the good news here is he never set a password that was the same as his work password. And this is something that you all should never ever do. Never set a password on your personal accounts the same as your work password. The last thing you want to have happen is your work account getting hacked because you set the same password at work as you did on your personal accounts. At a lot of companies, it's actually against company policy to do this, and you could get fired for doing this. And don't think that there isn't ways for your company to find out. There's companies that have breach detection out there and will go and test your work password against breach passwords. And if your organization does this and they happen to see your work password matches up with a breach of one of your personal accounts, well, you're in some deep trouble. So if you are doing this, stop this practice immediately, especially if you work for the organization that I work for. Alright, so I asked him the following. Yeah, that's good. Did you have 2FA on those accounts? His answer? I got the notification on my Gmail, but my Facebook account wouldn't let me log back in to change stuff. I was able to get Facebook support to delete the account though, and eventually I'll set up a new one, but I'll wait a bit. Alright, so he actually got prompted that someone was logging into his Facebook account, but that's not two-factor authentication. He didn't have two-factor authentication set up, also known as 2FA, as you saw in the text message. For those of you that don't know what 2FA is, basically it's a second method other than your password to verify that you are you when you go to sign into an application. So a lot of times you'll have to set it up so that you get a text message with a number and then you put that in after you enter your password, or you can use an application where you hit approve after you log in, or sometimes there's applications that you can use such as Google Authenticator that actually generate numbers for you that are tied to the application you're trying to sign in, and then you put that number in when you try to sign in. That is two-factor authentication, and he did not have it enabled. Alright, so the key point for you all here to take away from this, and this is probably the most important point on this video, if you're only going to take away one thing, is to turn on two-factor authentication on every single account that you have that supports it, because it stops 99% of hacks. If he had two-factor authentication turned on, the attacker or the pirate would have had to not only guess his password, but he would have had to guess that second factor. And the likelihood of the attacker guessing that second factor is very, very slim. So set up two-factor authentication on everything you have right now. Alright, so closing out this story. The person wanted me to make a payment on my credit cards with a bank account from some internet service provider they probably got through ransomware. And then once that was done, they wanted to use my credit card to buy Google Play gift cards. Man, doesn't this sound really shady? But it was a way that the pirate could hide his identity. But don't ever do this. Never ever pay the ransomware. For one, you can't guarantee a hacker isn't going to release your data anyway. And two, like my coworker said, yeah, and I would take the fall for using that account to pay my credit card. Using someone else's account to pay your credit card is probably a terrible idea because you're probably going to get in trouble for fraud, right? Alright, so not all of this story is bad. The bright side of this story is my coworker has been trying to get off of social media and has been having a hard time doing so. And this kind of forced him to get off of it because he couldn't access his account anymore. So he decided that he's going to wait a while and stay off of social media before he starts back up another Facebook account. So it's going to free up a lot of time for him to do other more productive things, and it's probably going to make him a lot happier because, let's face it, social media can be a mental and depressing drain at times. So that's the good part of this story. Alright, so in closing on this video, I want you all to fix the things that my coworker made key mistakes on that allowed him to get hacked so that you don't get hacked. So make sure that you're setting a strong password for each and every single website and application that you use. And preferably set up a password manager to do that for you, because after all, it's the easy button to do that. Next, make sure that you turn on your 2FA on each and every single website and application that you use. And then finally, do not take security lightly. Don't think that a device or application doesn't matter because there's nothing on there for a hacker to get. Everything has valuable information, so protect it like it has valuable information so that you don't get hacked and have to worry about being extorted because you didn't care to secure your device or your accounts. Remember, data is power and hackers can use that data against you. Alright, so I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found the tips from this story useful. And if you haven't already, make sure that you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button and share this video with everyone that you know that this can help, because all of these actions help promote this video to more people on YouTube so more people can protect themselves from the cybersecurity threats out there in the world. So I thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.